Hello friends, how is everybody doing today? I just wanted to, last video I did the masterboards. I had given you guys some ideas of different masterboards and things to do with them, different ideas. I didn't actually do a DIY, but I just wanted to show you this time two different styles of ones that I just did last night. I mean, you could tell, you know, the paper's hanging over the side. These aren't completed, but just to give you a visualization of, you know, ones with just music paper and book pages, and one with images that you can make and use as tags or cards. And I told you that we were going to be using masterboards in making fabric, lace, paper clusters today. So, but I wanted to show you, so for this one here, these are from a different masterboard. I had just cut strips up from one in little pieces, and we're going to be using them to make our clusters. Obviously you can use these to make tags, you can make them tuck spots, belly bands, a whole bunch of stuff. So I wanted to show you guys quick today when I was talking about masterboards with focal points. So this is just an old vintage book I had last night. I sat and, you know, just ripped out. I didn't really think too hard about it. I just ripped out some images that I thought would be more appealing and you guys would be able to see what I'm actually talking about. So basically what I did here with this masterboard is I made my own ephemera just by taking images and putting them, you know, on an 8.5 by 11 white cardstock page. So, all right. So I am going to get to the clusters, but I just wanted to show you guys quick a couple of different uses for. So I'm going to cut this one here. I do have my cutter, but I just want to show you guys quick. So right now we have, you know, this little cute little card here. So this can be used, you can make this a tag, you can make this a card. I didn't do, if you notice, I didn't do any distressing on these because once I cut them, then I'm going to just distress them myself. So don't go crazy when you are making your masterboards, whether they're ones with images or you're just going to make a plain one, like we're going to use this one for our clusters. So for this one here, just distress it a little bit here, and then you guys can see, you know, just a little aging. And I didn't distress anything while it was on there also, because you can always go along and just with your brush lightly give it a little aging. So, and go along and do a little bit of that and give it a little stressing along the way. So for this one here, all we did was we cut it out from our masterboard, right? So for this one, you know, maybe let me give it a little around the edges a little bit. So show you what it would look like as a tag. So what a cute little tag from a masterboard, right? You could punch a hole in it. Let's see. Punch a hole in it and just, you can add fabric to the top like I showed you in my video from yesterday. You can just sew a piece of fabric on there. And let me show you, see if I have it here real quick for you guys to see. Tons of uses for these guys. All right, so I think I showed you guys these yesterday. So I had made them, these tags from a masterboard. These are all from masterboards here, as you can see, right? and I showed you how I added the lace, and I added the metal eyelets, which you guys absolutely do not have to do. And then I showed you one where I just punched a hole in it and I added a little twine, right? Or you could just make this a little card, right? So maybe I'll just round all 4 corners here and you guys could see. How cute in a journal, traveler's notebook, a little tag, and the back is all white, so you can, you know, use it as a writing spot, right? Or you can use it as a little tuck spot. You can sew along the 2 edges here and then, you know, put like a little corner, or you can sew along here or glue, whatever, you know, and then use a little tuck spot here. But look how awesome that is. And we really didn't do much. We made our own ephemera. We didn't do much. We just cut up a masterboard in which we used images from an old book. You can use an old magazine or whatever you find or whatever you have. So, and it doesn't have to be vintage. It could be anything. It could be botanical. It could be, you know, birds, etc. So I just wanted to show you guys from yesterday that, you know, I didn't really go over this. I made the tag, but I just wanted to show you the difference between, you know, using making a visual masterboard. So these are actually lots of fun because they don't take a long time and you've made your own ephemera, right? So each one of these could be a tag or a little card, right? So I just wanted to show you guys that because that is the easiest DIY ephemera you're gonna find, because that doesn't take that long, and you can make a whole bunch in a day, and you can make a whole, you know, album just from handmade ephemera, right? Oh, and okay, so I'm going to get back to my clusters here. This is the reason I was going to do the video, because I told you guys last week that we were going to be using our masterboards to make fabric and paper clusters, right? So this is just a little piece from other ones. So before I did the video, I sat down and I started making some ahead of time to just show you guys. So what I did was I just tore a piece off from one of these strips here, and I just, you know, tore it off. I took a couple of pieces of, in this one here, I just have a piece of lace, and then I used a piece of cheesecloth. So I just put them together. I put them on, I just staggered a little bit because you want it to be sticking out a little bit. Okay. So I put the cheesecloth and the lace together, and I my little stamp that I had made. This is just a, if you saw my mass making fabric, I actually should do a mass making paper ones, but these are just, you know, little pieces of paper that I made to look like stamps. And voila. See, I sew these, so like if I show you these guys, these are all sewn. You know, I just stitch right across each one of them, right? The bigger ones, I usually just sew around the image. So this one has a Masterboard. It has a little piece of cotton fabric, and I used tulle, right? So you can actually pretty much use anything, any scrap fabrics or papers that you have, and then you have your own ephemera, right? So that's it. Now we have that. And this one here is actually cut from a snippet roll. And it has fabric, cotton fabric on the back. And the same concept. I used the fabric, except for I didn't use any masterboard. I just used the fabric. And then the image I had sewn all the way around. And I just added a little note. So there you go. That's a little DIY ephemera. You don't even have to make a whole snippet roll. You could just make these separate like we're making today. So this is the same concept, except for we didn't use any masterboard. We just used fabric for the back. So if you have scrap fabric, like we all do, go ahead, take your scrap fabrics, grab some lace or some tulle or some cheesecloth, or if you have any sheer type fabrics, right? Any of those, and then sew your image on or glue them, right? And this one too. This was from a snippet roll. So these are great scrap busters for all those little tiny little pieces of scrap papers, right? We all have these. Keep your little scrap papers and your little scrap fabrics, and you could make a ton of these. So usually what I do is if I'm sitting on the couch at night, I will take, this is one I just did. So I'll take a whole bunch of, you know, I'll bring down my Masterboards. I'll bring some scrap fabrics and some scrap papers or whatever, just a whole bunch of stuff. And I'll usually just paper clip them. And then when I'm ready to go to the sewing machine, I just sew them. But I just made this for you guys to see how it looks. If you're not a sewer, it doesn't matter because it still looks the same. So just to give you that option also. All right. So for these here, I had pre-prepared for you. So I have my sheer fabric. I have a piece of my little Masterboard that I cut up from, I just showed you. I have a little piece of lace. And then I have my little flower image, right? And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna stagger them, you know, the fabrics here. The sheer fabrics are very slippery. And then you're just gonna, it's easier if I do it on the table. And there you go. You have your little ephemera, right? And this one I didn't use a Masterboard for because it already is part of a Masterboard that I had cut out. Again, I just use a little sheer fabric. I used a little cheesecloth and I just kind of staggered it on top, and I added a little word accent here so you can see, right? So for today, for all of you guys who do not sew, we're going to use our trusty Aleene's tacky glue. Just glue a little bit. You don't need a lot, right? Just to get these guys, because sheer fabrics can get a little unruly here. So, all right. Looks like this is upside down. I'm going to just stick on my lace and then do our little image here. Using a little more glue when you're using fabrics. And there you go. Right? And let the glue have a time to dry, right? So we are making lots of uses out of our Masterboards because that's what I wanted to show you the last time. And I didn't add a word to this because there's really not a lot of room. All right, so for this guy, just put some glue on here. Right? Let's put some glue on there. We'll put on our little sentiment here. It says botanical. And just give it a little accent, right? So 1, 2, I'm gonna let the glue dry a little bit. So 1, 2, and then this one also. So this one is a little bigger here. And I didn't use any sheer fabric for this. I strictly used the cheesecloth and the lace. So I'm gonna just kind of glue on here randomly. I don't want to be let's see here, right? So we're just kind of staggering because you want it to look a little messy too, right? And then my little flower here. Doesn't help if you get glue on your fingers. But there you go, right? How much fun is that, right? And we didn't take a lot of time, right? So we already have our masterboard cut, or our masterboards made, right? So we have the ones that we made, the ephemera we made with the black and white vintage masterboard, and then we had masterboard that's just the book pages and the music pages, and we use them for these guys here. So you can use, when you're making your masterboards, you will use every little bit of it, you know. And I showed you in my last video how we use it to ship out our orders. We use excuse me, the masterboards to for our, when we sell our jewelry. So we have, that's a cute little accent. So yeah, right, not too bad. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna wait for this glue to dry. So this here, these guys here are all from a little small masterboard that I had made. I used a couple pieces already, but if you guys can see. And for these types of masterboards, when you have a lot going on, you're not really decorating it. Like the same with the other visual ones, you're not really cutting it because you really don't need to add any other stamping because of the type of you know, paper that we use. So you really, for this one, you don't really need to use anything. I just did a little script stamping, right? And that was it. This is just the paper. These are just the masterboard as is, and I just cut them out to be little little cards. So I really didn't have to do anything to these. So how awesome is that? You're just making your masterboard and you're just leaving it as is. You don't, you know, I just distressed the edges around, and then, you know, like I said, did a little stamping, and these are ready to go. So we use these for when we are, if we're shipping out our earrings, we'll you know, punch holes in there and put these as a little backboard for our earrings. So that's a nice idea if you're a jewelry seller and you're learning how to journal. If you make jewelry, that's a great, cute little, how cute, that's a little funky, right? People like a little jazziness. So again, that's it. Basically, we just use some cheesecloth, we use some lace, and we use some sheer fabrics. Like I said, these were made from a cotton backed snippet roll. So, but you don't have to make a whole snippet roll. Like I said, you could just put cotton on them. Let's see, I want to show you guys these. Which one is it? A couple of these, like this one has burlap on the back. You could see it, right? Any scrap fabric, anything that you have available, just use it, right? Just use it. And if you, like I said, if you don't sew, these turned out just, they look exactly the same as the other ones. So don't worry if you're not a sewer. You know, if you want to hand stitch around them, you can always do that. But see, there's really no difference. And we didn't use a lot of products. We didn't go crazy. We didn't buy anything crazy. We just, like I said, you guys know I love to use what I have. If I could use what I have, I'm going to do it. So this cheesecloth is actually the only really thing that I purchased. The rest of these, if you guys saw my vintage fabric and lace haul that I had done about a week ago, you'll see I got these at thrift stores, estate sales, antique stores, Goodwills, and sometimes you can go to Kohl's or like a retail store and buy like an old shirt, you know, and use cotton fabrics and, you know, for that. So like I said, we didn't use a lot of stuff. We got a lot, this is getting a lot of bang for, you know, your buck, and a lot of bang for your time. So, right, I had these already prepared, but if you're sitting on the couch at night and you have your little pieces of paper or your images or your masterboards, just cut them up and glue them or sew them, and how beautiful they are on a page, right? And there's all different kinds. Like I said, you don't have to do vintage. You could do basically whatever, and with not a lot of fabric or paper. These are strictly just scraps, and the images here are just ones that, you know, that we had. These are actually just washi tapes. So if you love washi tape like I do, you'll know. And these butterflies were cut, these butterflies were fussy cut out of a magazine. So why not, right? It was a magazine, whatever. So I wanted to show you those two things today. Wanted to follow up on my last video about the different types of masterboards and their uses, and another use for the masterboards to make your clusters and your tags. And look at all the stuff that I made today, right? So I hope this inspires you guys to get started, because I did a lot today. I was doing a lot of stuff. So, right? How fun is that? So cute. Anyway, so you guys can do this. This is, just remember the steps. We're just using scrap papers and scrap fabrics. We're not using, you know, a lot of stuff. We're just ripping up paper and, you know, playing around with images and patterns and designs and stuff. So I hope this helps you guys. Again, I look forward to hearing from you guys if you guys have ideas and stuff. So that's it. I think our next video, we are going to be doing at the end of this month, we are going to be doing the signature giveaway. So I'm going to be announcing that. So if you can subscribe, this way we'll be able to, you know, put you in the mix for our signature giveaway. Plus, it's not just a signature giveaway. There's more stuff in there too. So we have lots of videos that we are working on. So the next one, I wanted to show you guys how we do jewelry dangles for our for the journals. And eventually I want to show you guys how we make these tassels for the journals. So we make these boho style shabby tassels. And I didn't finish adding more jewelry, so we've only added the pearl strand here and the little key. But that's going to be another video in the future too. So the next video, I think we're just going to show you guys we're going to work with jewelry. How awesome is that? And we're going to decorate our journals with some fun stuff. And that's a part of a new vintage jewelry haul that I have. I got all new stuff too. So again, thank you guys so much for your support, and we really appreciate it. So again, if I've helped one person to get started, then that makes me happy. So I will be talking to you real soon. We have lots and lots and lots of cool stuff that we want to show you guys and share with you. So thank you, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Thanks.